From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Paisley Town is a Vancouver, British Columbia-based intuitive medium specializing in psychometry, tarot, and numerology. As she developed her intuition, other pieces of her puzzle began falling into place years ago. She was able to confirm her always suspected Metis background when the resources to trace her obscured family history unearthed a mix of First Nations, French, Gypsy, and Celtic. Today, she remains a wide-eyed person to whatever may come, as she has always been, meeting each new interaction with a spirit of adventure and a curiosity that encompasses both what is directly in front of her and what occurs in the periphery. Her website, paisleytown.com, if you want to check it on out. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranormal Magazine. Paisley Town. It's been a long time, way too long since we've had you on this show, but I'm so glad to have you back on, my friend. How are you?
I am excellent, Dave Scott. You're looking really good tonight.
I am. I'm not going to lie. There is absolutely no way I can deny that. No way I can deny that.
I love the new haircut.
You know what? I'm still a little shaky over it. I really am. I am. Because I grew that out, and I donated it to a great cause, okay? One of our listeners is battling cancer and wanted it for a wig, and I donated 15 inches of hair. And I'm proud of that. But, I feel a little naked. Not going to lie.
And trust me. The skull cap, right?
Well, trust me. This is something you don't want to see naked, is old Davey here, because it's not impressive. It's not impressive whatsoever. But I'm man enough to admit I feel a little naked, but we'll get through it. We will definitely get through it. How have you been, more importantly?
I've been really good. I've been super busy. Business has picked up quite a lot. People, have the need to know what's going on. So my phone's been ringing off the hook. I've been doing lots of online stuff, and I'm happy to be busy. Really happy to be busy.
Well, let me ask you this. With the last few months of the world kind of overturning in the COVID graveyard, and I mean that all politely here because, there's been, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of deaths around the world regarding this horrid pandemic. But, it's put people in a real different position, mostly for the first time in their lives, where they're actually thinking for themselves. They're thinking about their future, their past, what happens, what to do. Your phone must have been ringing off the hook for people just trying to get some sort of answers or glimpse into what they should be doing.
I'll tell you, interestingly enough, Dave, when this all first transpired, the different shops and places where I normally would do readings on a weekly basis in different cities in my area here around Vancouver, the shops closed and it kind of went very quiet and my phone didn't ring. I think people were just a little bit in shock because nobody really knew what to do. And then it got very busy for me. So I don't know what that's all about. I think people just want to know, how are they going to do financially? What are they going to do? Or do they have to start a new career? Do they have to revamp things? Do they have to move? It's impacted people's health. It's impacted their nutrition and their every aspect, their relationships, some people are so happy they get to be home with their family and other people want to, go buy a family gun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's what I have to ask you in regards to that, because I think for the first week or two, we all thought it was going to be, this is the holiday I wish I always had. where
Right.
I don't have to go to work. Everything's locked down. I could just stay in my pajamas for 2-3 weeks, and then it's just going and going and going. And this is where we are to today. I mean, we don't need to break it down for anybody. However, I could see a lot of stress and a lot of panic in a lot of people out there, because maybe they've battled this horrid disease or they know someone who has, and unfortunately, maybe they lost a loved one to it. But I mean, when people are panic stricken and they don't know what to do, they're always looking for some sort of answer. So when your phone started ringing from people looking for those answers, what was the most common question that you were getting?
There was a large variety of, there was a plethora of different queries that people made that they just wanted answers to just about anything. Like it broadened the horizon of the scope of questions that someone would come to a psychic for. Absolutely. Just things I hadn't even, thought about. People were rethinking their wills. People wanted custody of their kids that previously didn't. Like, it's just really changed the whole game. So people are, like you said, thinking differently. The mindset's different now. People are focusing more on people and feelings and resources more now than ever.
Is that a good thing, though? Or is it panic?
I don't think it's panic. I think they've had time to regroup and think about things and try and figure out what's important. Because you know what? I come from Windsor, Ontario, which is not too far from Allen Park, Michigan, where Scoreboard Lounge is located, just across the river. And the people there are focused, in Windsor, Ontario, people are focused primarily on, is my car better than my neighbor's car? Like it's definitely the Motor City of Canada. So now that this has happened and it's made such a huge impact on so many people personally, people are rethinking, like, do I have to have the newest car? Or is it important that I be able to go visit my grandmother before she passes away? Like, people are just rethinking everything that they never thought they would think about in their lives.
Yeah. And is that a good thing, though? Is it a good refresh for us, because for so long we're so into trying to keep up with the Joneses. We need that new car, we need that boat, we need those ATVs, we need that RV trailer, we need that once a year vacation to Mexico, because that's what happens in our personal cliques for many of people out there. Now, when we look at it, is that about refocusing? Is that probably the biggest lesson that you and other intuitives are trying to give out there for people who are looking at you for answers and asking, what now?
I think the refocusing is a big part of it, but I feel like the consciousness of the world has shifted, and we're now thinking, like, for example, if we were stuck in North America when the Corona coaster hit us, we're hearing in the news about people in other countries who are suffering. Like, for example, Italy, like they got hit like smashingly hard. People here are starting to have compassion for those they've never met before. Like, sure, when we hear on the news, oh, there was a tsunami or there was an earthquake, of course, our countries send aid over there, but the whole planet's been affected. The whole earth has been affected in every country by this. I think just it's opening people up, opening their hearts, opening compassion for other people, and the capacity to, what can I do to be of service? How can I actually make a difference to help people in Italy, when there's not really anything I can do to help people in Italy? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
It's like a rethinking, rejigging of all the ways that we formerly thought of things. So, there's this mentality of, I don't want such and such in my backyard. Like, I want to help those people, but I don't want it in my neighborhood. But people have been donating a lot of time, energy, money, resources to food banks, homeless shelters. Like people are stepping up to the plate, and some things that have been needing attention and needing to have the light shined on it are suddenly seeing an increase in compassion from humanity. So I think it's a good thing. I think healing on any level is a good thing, regardless of what made it happen.
I got to ask you, in regards to the other side with spirit communicating through you, has the spirits on the other side finally slapped their forehead and shaken their head and just said, "You humans are a bunch of idiots"? Is that the way it's all gone down?
I haven't noticed that to be happening at all, but I have noticed that in the last couple of months, spirit has been coming through to create situations that are like funny or humorous, or like to relieve tension, not so serious as it was before. So to me, that's again, more healing. I don't know.
Okay,
Spirit's been coming through with funny stuff lately.
Like what? Give me an example here.
So I did a reading for a gentleman, and he was Italian background. So he was, background was Catholic, and he came to see me. And I asked him, like, do you have any questions you wanted to ask? And he said, I was wondering if there's any messages. One of the things that I do is I do psychometry. So if I was doing a reading for you, Dave, I might hold your watch or your necklace or your ring or something. And while holding that piece, I download information from spirit specific to you or someone around you in your circle. So I can't remember. He gave me something of his to hold on to. I held on to it. That's called psychometry. It's just reading the energy from an object. And I can read an envelope in a sealed envelope, but he gave me like a wallet or a watch or something. And I closed my eyes and I held the object in my hands. And this woman came through very clearly in my visual while my eyes were closed. And I got very uncomfortable because she wanted me to slap him. So I opened my eyes and I said, well, I'm getting this woman that's coming through. And I explained to the gentleman, she's short and she weighs this much and this is what she's wearing and so on. And his eyes like got brighter. And I said, she has nothing to say to you, but she told me to take my right hand and slap you in the back of the head 3 times really hard. Like she wants me to strike you and hit you hard. And he said, oh my gosh, he said, it's my mother. She would kill me if she knew I was coming to see a psychic. Because she's Catholic, right? She doesn't want her son going to see a psychic or a fortune teller, right? So there was no message for him. He told me, he said he'd never had a reading before, and it was a really eye-opening experience for him. And he said it was really worth it for him because he understood the message that his mother was giving. And he said, that's all you needed to tell me. That was the message. There was no words that needed to accompany that reading for that gentleman. Staunch Catholic Italian coming to a psychic.
Oh, you know damn well that they're going to, that's going to happen. That's for sure. During times like these, when we're in a tough crawl right now, a lot of people want to know about the future. Yet I always know with psychic intuition and what you do, the future is always very difficult. It's very grainy and gray area. How sick and tired are you of the what's happening in my future question?
Well, I've been working with a lot of clients and I've done quite a lot of readings because I've been doing this, I want to say like full time, if that sort of makes sense. It's not a 9-to-5 job, but I do readings. Sometimes in 1 week, I might do 50 readings. Like I do a lot of readings and I work with psychic students. So I read with and for my students and have them read for me. And because I do so many readings, one of the things that I've noticed comes up is that sometimes I will ask my clients to reframe their question so that I can give them the answer that they're looking for. And I'll give you an example. Like you're saying, like, tell me about my future. So if somebody came to me and said, I'm single and I would like to meet somebody, like, am I going to meet somebody? I shuffled the deck or held onto their watch, or actually I've been doing, since COVID, I've actually been doing Skype readings, video readings, Zoom readings, online and telephone readings for my clients internationally. And I found that I can do psychometry through a video without holding on to the object, which is phenomenal. Perfect. Yeah. So I get you to hold on to your ring or your watch, and I want to say like zoom into the energy of what it feels like, even though I don't have it in my hand. So it's like remote psychometry. And so I get people to reframe their question. So I've asked so many people, I hear what you're saying is, am I going to meet somebody? But really, the true question is your question, what can I do to take responsibility so that I can be ready when the partner comes along? What can I do to take responsibility to be in a relationship? Or to meet somebody new to hang out with? Or to spend time with somebody? Like reframing the question, it's a deal breaker. Because if somebody says, sense. Am I going to meet somebody? I can say yes, or I can say no. Right?
It's one of two choices. Realistically, right? It is one of two choices. And the chances that they're actually going to meet someone in their life, I mean, the chances are pretty high. I would say those are higher than 50-50.
Especially if they're looking to meet someone. So sometimes people want to meet someone, but they're not willing to take responsibility for what they have to do to meet the person.
Exactly. Paisley Town is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. And we got about 5.5 minutes before we have to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Paisley's website, paisleytown.com. Paisley, we're going to kick off with a little bit of numerology here, because for many people out there, I'm going to be honest, we don't understand what the hell it is, okay? It looks like a bunch of numbers running across, a screen like a ticker tape that we see coming out of the stock market. But people like you are able to make something out of it. How do the numbers work?
That's a really good question. So numbers, it's a form of communication, like English or like sign language. It's like accounting. It's a form of communication that when you discover the aspects of the numbers, it helps reveal information about people, personalities, characteristics, tendencies, communication styles, hobbies, career choices, those kinds of things. So it's specifically detailed to people.
Right. Okay. So I understand that the universe, the world, people, humanity, everything is mathematical. It's either ones or zeros. It's binary. Okay. Right. How does this turn into being able to tell whether or not I'm going to have 17 children in my life or not?
I don't know that numerology would be the tool for that. If you wanted to know how many children you were going to have, I would say go see a palm reader. The lines in our hands apparently change from when we're young to when we're middle-aged to when we're older. And the lines of our hands reveal specific information such as relationships, marriages, deaths, children, stuff like that. And that's why the lines in our hands change, because as we go through things, we change. If you've learned some hard life lessons, then you're going to behave differently than someone who hasn't. So, Dave, I already know you're not going to have 17 children, so the listeners.
Goodness. Yeah. Thank goodness. I'm just glad my days are over. And that makes me happy. But I do have to ask, okay, in regards to numbers, how do they define who we are?
How do they define who we are? Give me an example of what your question is that you want to.
I mean, everything, like I said earlier, everything is due around numbers, correct? Correct. Okay, so with that, when you're looking at numbers, whether it's birth dates or numbers that we see on a pattern, which we will get into later, everything that we do seems to be defined by the numbers around us.
Yes.
We all have a favorite number and everything. So how does that define who we are?
Well, I believe that we can attract things into our life that we want. Like we have free will and we have destiny, right? So if we want to, for example, a little girl growing up, she may say, I want to be a ballerina, or I want to be a model, or I want to be a fireman, whatever she might say. She's going to attract opportunities into her life so she can become who she wants to be.
Okay. So with that, and I realize that we have free will in order to see everything, but I mean, if you have a plethora of sightings regarding the same number, okay, let's say my favorite number is 24. Okay, I'm born on the 24th. My favorite hockey player wore the number 24. I like the number. It works for me. Okay, I see it a lot. Okay, is that just a mindful thing that we're paying attention because we like that number, or does that number actually have meaning?
Both. I think the number 24 has the meaning, and in numerology it would be the 6 energy, which I can cover later after the commercial break. But, if you're driving a brand new silver Jeep, you're going to start to see more Jeeps because your mind is going to look for them. Or if you know that Tesla has a new car out, if you spot a Tesla, you're going to now look at the back of cars or the wheels on cars and the windows to see, hey, what kind of car is that? That's Tesla. You know what I'm trying to say? It's going to be in your consciousness. So you're going to attract 24s to you because you like that number and it makes you happy and because it's your birthday.
You just make it sound so easy, yet it seems so complicated.
I'm dyslexic with numbers and I'm a numerologist, so figure that out. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know
so
the answer.
Are you saying whatever you say, we got to go backwards and use the other one then?
No. Not at all.
The trust factor here. That's what I'm trying to figure out. The lovely and talented Paisley Town out of Vancouver, British Columbia, is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. And we're going to be getting more into numerology, psychometry, tarot. Learn all about it. How do we get readings from pieces of paper, number, even tea leaves? What kind of tea leaves are hiding my story, your story, everyone's story? Everyone's got a story. You got a story, you got a story, you got a story. PaisleyTown.com is her website. We'll be back with more Spaced Out Radio coming up after this.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you'd know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I want to remind you that if you have missed portions of this show or others, you could check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we are talking with numerologist Paisley Town. She's out of Vancouver, British Columbia. Been doing this a long time, and she's got a great smile to go along with it. Her website, paisleytown.com. Paisley, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. It's been too long.
I know. It's been like 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Way too long.
No, I mean since I've been on your show.
Oh, yes. Yeah, way too long. Way too long. You know, I gotta tell you, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who believe this whole numerology thing is just a bunch of woo. You know, what do you say to those who say, you know what, Paisley, I don't buy it. This is a bunch of woo, and you have to prove it to me otherwise. What do you say to the critics?
Honestly, if someone doesn't believe in any of the modalities of divination that I work with, numerology is one of the more scientific, but if somebody's a doubter or a non-believer, I will not do a reading for them. I prefer not to. If someone says, I'm not sure if I believe in psychics, like read for me and I'll decide, I say no. I'm not taking your $120. I won't read for them. I don't do that. I'll talk them out of a reading before I'll talk them into a reading.
Okay. Is it because negative energy affects the reading?
I think it's more... I feel like readings are a combination of body, mind, and spirit. And if they're doubting in their mind what they're thinking and feeling and knowing, then they're not ready to have a reading. I would recommend to them not to have a reading. This has happened a handful of times where people have, you know, questioned. You know, not everybody believes in psychics, and people that do believe in psychics, not everybody's open to it. So, and that's okay. I'm totally fine with that. I have read for Catholic people. I have read for atheists. I've read for, chiefs of tribes, like executive directors, people on social services. Like I've read for a lot of different types of people from all walks of life, homeless people. It's just more effective. If they know what I do and they have a valid question and I can hopefully help them answer it. It just makes more sense to me.
Okay, so if somebody has an open heart, open soul, open mind, are they easier to read because it opens up those lines of communication, or is it just a better energy to work with?
Easier to read and better energy. Both, yes. Yes.
Okay, so for those who may not understand how that works, can you define that for us?
I once had a client come in for a reading. They prepaid for a reading to see me, and they came into the reading room, and sat down. I closed the door. I sit down. I asked them, do you have any questions that you would like me to answer during our session today? Firstly, the first question I normally ask people when it's a live reading like that or online is, have you ever had a reading before? Because I want to know if it's somebody's first time, I might take a little extra time to explain to them how it works so they don't get freaked out when I tell them something significant to them that freaks them out. So anyway, I asked them, like, do you have a question, or would you like me? Sometimes people don't have a question, or some people come for a reading on a regular basis and they don't have a question and they say, Paisley, just tell me what I need to know. So I will check in with spirit, because the information doesn't come from me. I check in with spirit and ask spirit if there's something that this person needs to know at this time. And if the person is sitting across the table from me, leaning back in their chair, and they have their arms crossed, then they're testing me. So I don't read body language, but I know when somebody's got their arms crossed, they're either very cross with you or they're doubting what's going to come out of your mouth. So I have invited people, please uncross your arms to open the connection between us so that I can read you. And then the reading, as soon as they put their arms down, it's like they have an open heart now. I don't know how to explain it, but it does physically make a difference.
Really does, eh? Now, I'm going to assume that's the reason why if you're closing your arms and you're enclosing on yourself, it really is kind of putting a negative connotation on what we do here in our personal lives. Because we're closing off that energy. It's like shutting a door. Am I correct on that?
Yes. So I invite people to open the door. Now, mind you, before I do my sessions, I do protection and clearing practices so that I invite only the highest and best energy to come in, because you don't want like lower energy spirit to come through, like trickster energy or like the kind of energy that you'd get in a paranormal investigation, for example.
All right.
I like to work with the light.
Let's move back to the numbers here for a quick thought here. Okay, because for a lot of people, they see patterns in numbers. Okay,
Yes.
As I've said many times on this show, I see the number 513 everywhere. On the clock, on my garbage cans, at work, if I'm on the internet, if I'm dealt cards at a poker table, I could have a 5, an ace, and a 3. I see it everywhere. Never saw that number previous to my daughter being born in 1999. And that was her birth weight. Now I see it everywhere. And we look for those patterns. We recognize those numbers. But are certain numbers more significant than just coincidence of seeing them?
I would say yes. So it's interesting that your daughter's born in 1999, because when I add 5 and 1 and 3 together, it's 9. And she was born in 99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my girl.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we did a reading on her birthday once before, a long time ago. And I've read your birthday before too.
Yeah, that was scary.
Scary how? What do you mean?
Well,
Scary in what way?
I
Scary.
don't know. The whole numerology
You don't remember.
thing just no, it weirds me out, the whole numerology thing, because I don't understand. Well, there's a lot of people out there, Paisley, who have a fear of numbers. Okay, because of maybe they don't like aging, or they're just not good with mathematics. Okay, and I'm one of those. I would fall into that category. I hate aging. I hate the fact that I'm 47 years old. I hate the fact that I've never been really strong with numbers. Okay, outside of the simple mathematics of addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. But to actually find meaning and everything in between that, I found that difficult. I really have. So, numbers aren't my favorite thing. Numbers scare people. Numbers cost money. Numbers mean bills. You know what I'm saying? It means for the majority of us, it means a low bank account.
Right. Well, I have a fear of numbers. I'm dyslexic with numbers. I always said that I hated math class and that I never wanted to work with numbers, and that numbers are stupid and I don't understand them. And now I'm a numerologist. It kind of happened by accident. I had a reading with this numerologist, and he explained about balancing people's names with their birthday. And my birth name and my birthday didn't balance. So I understood what he was saying. It made sense to me. And he told me that if I decided at some point someday to change my name, then my life would be better. And I said, I'll phone you tomorrow when I pick my new name. So he gave me a list of names to choose from that would balance with my particular birthday. And I actually spent 2.5 years deciding on my new name. And I chose the name Paisley Town after going through like about 60 first names and 40 last names and combinations of all those names together. So I legally changed it.
Well, look at you. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really, what's your, you look like a Mary. Are you a Mary in real life?
In real life, I used to be. You want to know my previous name? Is that what you're asking me?
I do.
My previous name, my previous name is Sue Ann.
I could see that.
Really?
I could see that.
I can't.
Yeah.
I never resonated with that name. No.
You hated your name, didn't you? Be honest. I
hated it all my life. I grew up in Windsor, and some of my family was in Detroit. Shout out to 313. So we spent every weekend in Detroit, Michigan, because my family owned a bar near Gratiot and 7 Mile. Most people don't know that. Yeah, I hated my name. I didn't like, people didn't even call me by my name when I had that name. Friends at school, family, they didn't use that name.
So you never identified with?
Nope, never. All my life.
Gotcha.
People called me Marianne, Joanne, Sue Ellen, Suzanne, Betty, Joe, Bobby. I got so mad that people couldn't remember my name that I told people just to call me John Boy, even though I'm very feminine.
Okay. So getting back to the whole number side, okay, with numerology, I mean, this goes back a long time. It's an ancient type of reading level. It is of divine and mystical. How do numbers define who we are in regards to reading ourselves? So for instance, every letter in someone's name has a different value. I mean, an A could be 1, B 2, C 3, so on and so forth. And how do we put that together to try and figure out what the stars or the spirits are trying to find from us or tell us?
I don't know that the stars and the spirits are trying to tell us anything about numerology. I feel like numerology is a combination of two things. It's like a science. It's like, like astrology is a science. And when I do numerology for people, information from spirit comes through for them for some reason when I do numerology. So I might be talking to someone about their communication style, and then spirit interrupts my numerology reading to tell them something about communication.
Okay. So for those of us then who have a fear of numbers, for instance, I hate the number 13. Hate it. Hate it. Can't stand it. I avoid it like the plague.
Like a gnome?
No, I'm one with the gnomes now. I am one with the gnomes. But I am so not one with the 13s. Okay? So not one with the 13s. Just not my style.
Do you know why?
No.
Okay.
Just not a fan. You know what? I do know why. I know why.
Tell us all.
I think it's an ugly number.
Oh.
I think it looks ugly. Add to the fact that for years, prior to hockey players becoming a bunch of, becoming more politically correct, shall we say, nobody in hockey wore the number 13. It was like taboo to wear the number 13. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but I know that there's not 13 floors in an elevator, right? It goes 12, 14 in most buildings.
Which is still the same reason why I do not stay on the 14th floor, because it's still number 13.
Right.
Right. I won't, even when I'm choosing my phone number, I will not have a number like the last 4 digits that add up to 13. Like there can't be a 9 and 4 or an 8 and 5 or a 6 and 7. No way.
Well, I do know that in the Chinese culture, 13 adds up to 4, and 4 is considered an unlucky number. And so Vancouver and like the West Coast here of Canada and the U.S., like, Portland, Seattle, all these cities on the West Coast here have a large Asian community. And the reason that 4 is an unlucky number is that for example, in Cantonese, when you're counting numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, the number 4, sounds very similar to the Chinese or Cantonese word for death. And Asian people don't talk about death. They avoid talking about death. They feel like it's unlucky. So the number 4 is unlucky. I bet you didn't know that.
I did not know that, but I also learned something from cable guy Matt that at many grocery stores do not have an aisle 13.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I never put that together.
We got to pay attention. We got to wake up.
No, absolutely. I mean, but there's still a lot of superstition around that and around certain numbers that go along. I mean, you look at 666, the number of the beast. 888 is considered a very lucky number under the, for the Chinese. You look at 777 is supposed to be a heavenly number. Like we try and put a lot of this, a lot of stress and a lot of thinking towards the meaning of numbers.
It's true.
Should we?
It's true. I don't know. That's a good question. It's a question for everyone. Let's ask our listeners. Should we put that extra stress out there?
Well, you're the expert here, man. You're the expert.
I'm not the expert on, series of numbers, but I'm very good at numerology. I'm very passionate about it. The fact that I even do numerology in the first place, it's fascinating to me that I do it as a person who has a learning disability with numbers. So numbers saved my life. Love it. Love
it.
them.
It is. So, okay. So when you are reading someone about their numbers, okay, what are you looking for? How do you do that?
So it's based on the person's name and their date of birth. So the month carries energy, the day, like you said, you're born on the 24th, so that's a 6.
Yes.
So people who are born in June will get along with you. People who are born on the 6th day of the month will get along with you. People born on the 15th, which adds up to 6, will get along with you. So 6 energy resonates with other 6 energy.
Okay.
Here's a question for you, Dave. Your name's Dave. It's a common name. A lot of people named Dave. Do you have several friends named Dave?
No.
Do you know several people named Dave?
Yes.
Do you have a lot in common with them?
Well, one's my dad. So
do you have a lot in common with your dad? Because some people do and some people don't.
Yes.
So Daves resonate with Daves. Davids resonate with Davids. 6s resonate with 6.
Couldn't that be the same for Michaels or Sue Ellens or
yes
or who
or Paisley
or Paisleys? I mean, how many Paisleys do you know?
I met one girl named Sue Ann back around 1986. And actually it was kind of odd because she was really fair skinned with black hair, long black hair. So she kind of looked like me, which kind of freaked me out. But I haven't met any Paisleys, but I've met clients that have someone in their family named Paisley.
Okay.
It's a unique name. It's kind of a modern name. Although Paisley is an ancient name too. After about 5 years after I chose my name, I know we're almost at the top of the hour, I researched my great-grandmother's history, and her father was born outside the town of Paisley, and my name is Paisley Town. So I knew that when I picked my name and then I did my genealogy, I knew that I was supposed to choose this name.
Well, that makes sense. So in hour 2, I want to get some of our audience members involved here. What should we do? I'm going to leave it to you. Should we just get them to type in their birth dates?
Yes, they can type in their birthday, like I'm in the Spreaker chat room right now. So if anyone in the Spreaker chat room, we've got lots of new people since I was on the show. Like, all these, we have Gnome Drew. We've got Quest Nation in the room. We've got a lot of new people that I haven't met.
Yeah, and the YouTube chat is absolutely flying right now. Flying.
Okay, so for the purpose of, avoiding identity theft, because some people may have concerns about that, if somebody wanted like a quick little reading and they want to type in the chat room their legal first name and their date of birth, the month, the year, and the day, I can get you to text me that information, Dave, if there's someone who has a question, because I have my cell phone here. And I can check out the Spreaker chat room. Hi, Desert Clam. And maybe we can do some readings.
Maybe. Let's do it. Let's give it a try. Let's see what we want. And if no, we don't require social security numbers, Xavier, in the YouTube chat. We don't require
I've never done a reading for an Xavier before. Ooh. I've only ever met one Xavier from California, formerly from British Columbia, who's a football player that now lives in California.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Xavier is a name that isn't used enough. It's a good, solid name. It's a great name. All right.
Woo,
so I see a lot of
Xavier.
I see a lot of people typing in their birthdays in the YouTube chat and everything right now. Just hold off on that because we will get to it when we come back from the top of the hour here, because it's kind of what we do. That's kind of what we do. And oh my gosh, like everybody in the YouTube chat is like totally putting their names and birth dates on there. We're going to have some fun here. Not going to lie. We're going to have some fun.
I'm in.
All right, get your hot little tarot cards ready, because when we come back from the break, we are going to have some fun with everything on numerology. Paisley Town is our guest. In my opinion, she's one of the best out there. I absolutely love her. PaisleyTown.com is her website, so make sure you check it on out, because you definitely want to have some fun with this young lady, because she's damn good. She is that good. Right, Paige? Help me out here. Help me out. You're that good, right?
I'm laughing. Yes, I recently put a post up on Facebook and said something, and I said, because I'm that good.
That good. That's right. Yes. That's my girl. Paisley Town, everyone. And we're going to get into numerology, tarot, and psychometry. We're going to learn it all tonight. And your readings as well, here on Spaced Out Radio, coming up after the break.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night, where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. t-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight. We want to remind you that if you have missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Numerology. Numerology is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as a clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. On Instagram, you can follow us at Spaced Out Radio Show and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Paisley Town is here with us tonight. We're talking numerology, tarot, psychometry, anything intuitive. We're going to do something we don't normally do on this show. We're going to give readings as we are going to practice some numerology with Paisley, whose website is paisleytown.com. The lovely Paisley, welcome back.
Thank you. It's been 5 whole minutes.
I know, it has. It feels like it's been forever since you've been on this show. All right, you ready to kick things off?
I'm all set.
All right, we're going to start off in our YouTube chat with Vincent. His birthday, April 20th, 1978.
Okay. And I'm guessing that Vincent is the legal name because last time I was on the show, so it was about maybe 2.5 years ago, I used to be on the show every Sunday night doing readings. And one of the listeners used a nickname. And I was trying to do a reading for her based on her nickname, but it wasn't. And I told her something. She's like, no. I told her something else. She's like, no. I told her something else. She's like, no. Except she didn't give me her real name. So Vincent has the energy of a 5. And the birthday, 420. That's a funny birthday. April 20th, 420. 8 and 8, 16, 7. So I have a question for Vincent because when I'm looking at this birthday, what's coming up is there's some water numbers coming up. And so numerology, the way that I was taught to use it based on the Pythagorean theorem, has energy of different elements. You know how astrology, if someone's Pisces, they're water. So in numerology, Dave, different numbers represent the elements of fire, water, and air. In numerology, there's no earth element. But when I look at Vincent's birthday, and you'll have to get him to maybe type something in the chat room, yes or no, or if it makes sense to him. But I'm curious, this birthday looks to me like, Vincent, when things are not balanced in your life, does decision-making come up as like a pretty big challenge for you? And the reason that I'm asking that question, I'll let you check the chat room, Dave. The name Vincent is a 5, which is a water element. April is a 4, which is a fire element. Being born on the 20th is a 2 because we're adding the numbers together. So 2 plus 0 is 2, and that's a fire number. And then 1978 adds up to 7, which is a water number. So we have water, fire, fire, water. And so this would indicate to me, if you think about the elements in nature, water fights fire, fire fights water. They're like conflictual enemies in nature. And so I would say sometimes Vincent could have situations come up where he goes back and forth in making a decision, like hesitating or talks himself into something and then talks himself back out of it. Did he answer you in the chat room about that?
No, there's about a 30-second delay from the chat room for what we're doing to what the audience is. So it's difficult to get those questions in. So we'll unfortunately have to keep it just a little bit vague like that.
Sure.
But
That's something that could come up for somebody with that birthday. Even when I add all the birthday numbers together, it's the value again of a 4, which again, it's water and fire, water and fire. I will say that Vincent is someone who may have, I want to say, like questions of conscience. And what I mean by that is somebody with the value of 5 in their name, or someone who's born in May, or somebody who's born on something on a day of the month that adds up to 5, for example, the 14th of the month or the 5th. People of the 5 like to follow the rules and like color inside the box. And people born on the 20th or the 2nd or the 11th like to, for example, speed when they drive. So they very often, people born on the 20th of the month will get speeding tickets because they like to drive fast. So can you imagine somebody who likes to follow the rules, but they like to speed? Like, it's a bit of a conundrum with this birthday. It's like, it shows me that he takes responsibility seriously, and he's a bit of a bad boy, possibly because of the fire energy.
Well, he does have a nice beard. So we'll give him credit for that. Thank you, Vincent. Hope that helps you out. He said absolutely. You read him well.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on to Cameron here.
Okay,
William
Cameron.
is the legal first name.
Okay.
And January 16th, 2002. So just 18 years old. I wonder, oh, God, to be 18 again. Holy cow.
Wasn't that just a minute ago?
Yeah, exactly.
So with William, when I look at the birthday, similar information to Vincent, although different. So we've got the water energy and the fire energy. William hopefully can make a comment in the chat room. I'm going to say 2 quick things and then explain it a bit. William should be someone who primarily enjoys spending time alone, like quite an independent soul who values their own privacy, their own downtime. They like to do things alone. They don't like to be told what to do because they have like a teacher quality. And also they should be, I would call them in the realm of artist or healer. So a lot of people, I did a reading with Joanna the medium, who's been on your show before a few times, Dave. And her and I did a public session where we picked members out of the audience. And this one lady gave me her birthday. And I said, oh, you're an artist or a healer based on your birthday numbers. And she said, no. And her girlfriend was there with her. The two ladies came together. And the girl was sitting in a chair beside the lady I was reading for. And so the girlfriend jabbed her elbow into her friend really hard. And she goes, what do you mean you're not a healer? She goes, you drive an ambulance. So she was a first responder to medical emergencies in a healing industry as a frontline essential worker. And she said she was not a healer. So I call that kind of psychic amnesia.
Don't kid.
So William should have artistic and healing ability and like to be fairly independent. Those were the 2 things that came up with that birthday. Did that resonate with him? Did he comment?
Let me see here. No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, we can get back to that. I've got somebody in the Spreaker chat room. We have WD40 gave me his legal name, which is also William, which is the energy of 1, an independent soul. But this birthday is quite different. So WD40's birthday has fire energy and air energy. And a little bit of water. And so the 5 about responsibility and balance, yes. But we'll have to get WD40 to reply in the chat room to see. But this is someone who gets bored easily and loves to solve puzzles. Usually they have more than one full-time career at the same time. When I say solve puzzles, it could be like somebody who works in a chaotic, busy, noisy environment, like a concert setting or a trade show or a casino, as opposed to, for example, the first William that we read for January 16th, this would be somebody that might be like a teacher or work in an office or train other people or work in first aid. Like it's a solitary kind of quiet work environment, unless it's a musician. But they should like downtime to write their own music. But WD-40, on the other hand, would be able to do well in a noisy, chaotic environment. And so I'm not sure if he's going to comment in the chat room or not. We'll wait and see about that. And then do you have some more names and birthdays for me?
Oh, yeah. Let me scroll up here. Let's see here. We have Gary. He's a one-ard Gary, not a two-ard Gary. Because you can never trust a two-ard Gary. All right. March 25th, 1978.
Okay. March 25th, 1978. It just takes me a moment to add up the numbers. 8, 8, 16, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. So this is water and fire and air. So this is a person... in the Spreaker chat room, Cameron Williams said yes. Yes, indeed. So Gary. So the name Gary is someone who should work in some kind of service to others. So I would say artist and healer and teacher and leader, but also likes to work with people, gets along with any kind of personality type, unless someone betrays them. So we'll wait a few minutes and see if Gary has any comments or an additional question about that. So people born in March or people born on the 3rd or the 30th or the 12th or the 21st, this energy is 3, which is air energy. And air energy is got some really excellent qualities and it has some downfall qualities. So, Dave, you said you're born on the 24th, is that right?
Yes.
You're 6.
May 24th.
Okay, and May 24th. Okay, well, maybe we'll have time to talk about May later when it comes up with one of our listeners. But so people born on the 24th is a 6, and people born in March is a 3. So people born in March, June, or September, 3, 6, and 9, these are air numbers, and quite often super talented to do with arts or healing. And so that could have, like, it doesn't necessarily have to mean like someone who does fine art. It could be someone who's a decorator or someone who's a chef, someone who is of service to other people. And I'll give you an example. I don't know Princess Diana's birthday, but she would be like an example of kind of like the air quality. The air quality would be, how can I heal the planet more? How can I make a difference? So I can say that, I can look at birthdays and kind of say what people do. So quite often I can nail what their vocation is if I look at their birthday numbers. So I would say Gary probably works in an independent position, working on a team with other people in some kind of service. So it might be customer service. It might be healing artist. It could be, being of service. You know what I mean by that, Dave?
Yes. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
All right. Let's move on. We got Matthew, otherwise known as Cable Guy Matt around here. Matthew. Okay. March 20. Yeah, two T's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And don't forget, if you hit up Cable Guy Matt, you can get your free piece of coaxial cable autographed by him. You can't buy these in stores. I know.
Wow, that's
I know.
Fancy.
Limit 2 per household.
In Canada or the U.S.?
Oh, he'll send them anywhere. We got listeners all over the world requesting his pieces of coaxial cable. All right. So
I bet you everybody wants his cable, right?
Exactly. You're so bad. But that's okay.
Thank you.
That's why we love you around here. Okay, March 23rd, 1985.
March 23rd, 1985?
Yes.
Okay. So we just did March 25th. So 23rd is 5 and 3. Okay, so Matthew is someone that would actually get along well with you, Dave, because you're born in the 5th month and he is born like the 23rd. I'm going to call that the 5th day, like, because it's a 5 energy.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're born in May, you get along well with Matthew because he's born on the 23rd. And because you're born in June, June gets along well with someone born in March. So quite often, a lot of ladies will come to me for readings and they'll be like, I just met a guy online. Here's his birthday. So as long as the guy's telling the truth about his birthday, I can tell whether the communication styles would be similar or not. 5 and 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 5. So Matthew doesn't have any fire energy. So Matthew will be a sensitive soul. Now, do you know him? Like, have you talked to him on the show, or do you know about him?
Oh, yeah, Matt and I, he's my cable guy.
Okay. So he should be a sensitive soul who should be inclined towards the arts or healing, who's very fair and independent, and he may be somewhat political. Do you know if that's true about him?
Yeah, I think you're nailing it.
And one of the things, like all the numbers, Dave, have a positive side to them and a shadow side to them. Just like not every person is like an angel, right? So we all have a shadow side. But the shadow side to the air numbers, which would be 3 or 6 or 9, and you need to listen to this because you're born on the 24th. Those numbers, the positive side is super gentle, generous. I would say these are people that give from the heart. So you and Matthew are the kind of guys that, like, if somebody was moving and they didn't have any help at the last minute and you were available, you'd take your truck and go help them move for a couple hours. Do you find that to be true about yourself, Dave?
Yes, because I just did that. Not moving, but I just
Something
donated
similar.
a bunch. I donated a bunch of firewood to an elderly couple here whose husband used to go out and get firewood all the time, but he had heart surgery, so he couldn't now. So she put it on Facebook. Never met this lady in my life, and she put it on Facebook looking for somebody for firewood, and they were going to pay. And I'm looking at my storage unit of firewood, and I'm like, why? I have all of this. Like, why not just give it to them? Give them a break. So that's what I did.
Right?
Yeah,
it's
I'm
the
that
right
guy.
thing to do. It's a generous, giving, helpful. It's being of service, and so the downside to the air numbers, which are 3, 6, and 9, people need to watch for signs of depression or overindulgence. And when I say overindulgence, it does include addictive behaviors, but it doesn't mean like, fentanyl addict necessarily. It could mean someone who's a workaholic or somebody who does too much gaming or, too much.
Who could that be?
I don't know. I'm just saying downside, upside, right? The upside is generous, heart-centered person. So I'd say Matthew is a sweet guy that would save somebody's kitty out of the tree.
Yes.
And you know him, so I don't know him. I've never met him.
And being a cable guy, he's got the ladder to do it.
Oh, right. Of course. I forgot about the ladder. I wasn't even thinking that. I was looking at the 5s and the 3s.
All right. Let's move on here to Jessica.
Okay.
And her birthday is October 10th, 1985. So another 85er here.
Okay. So October's 1. October, and the 10th is 1. 8, 9. Okay, so Jessica is a 6 in the name, so gentle, generous, artist, healer, spirit. And now, this doesn't happen a lot, but occasionally it happens. So I'm just going to read you the elements of her birthday. Water, water, and water. Blended with air. So does Jessica know Matthew?
No.
Okay. Jessica and Matthew would get along well together because they both have water and air birthdays. Jessica should be a really independent soul. She'll like to spend time by herself. She should be good at teaching and training. People who have a birthday like this, they would be med lab technicians, scientists, librarians, teachers. They like to follow the rules. They like to do the right thing. Sometimes they go into politics or law or justice or mediation, those types of careers. But the name Jessica is an artist. So I could say this is somebody who's, if they were going to be an artist, they would do something very structured. So they might write music or read music or sing or play music, because music is a very structured art form. And if they were going to take a hobby, it would be something like stained glass or quilting, something that has a lot of structure to it that's also creative, if that kind of makes sense.
It does make sense, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
So we'll have to wait and see what Jessica says.
Absolutely. We've got about 2 minutes here before we have to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Paisley Town is our guest tonight. Let's try and sneak in another one here. Let's go with Christopher. Okay.
And the birthday is?
February 23rd, 1970.
Okay. Is it P-H-E-R or F-E-R?
Yes. P-H-E-R.
Okay. And probably goes by the nickname Chris, which is slightly different than Christopher. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2. People who are Christopher that go by the name Chris, what they do is they actually, so Christopher's a 2 and Chris is a 9 energy. And what happens is when they use the short name, they add more life lessons to the homework that they have to do in this lifetime. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Okay. There's more life. So every number has a lesson. So the lesson for people born in February is about teamwork and motivation and getting things done. And sometimes people born in February or April or August will struggle with motivation and lack of energy. They'll struggle. They'll be like lazy couch potato people that struggle to get off the couch. So the name Christopher's a 2 and February is a 2. So I would recommend for Chris and born in 1970, there's another fire number, the 8. I would recommend for this person to consistently do cardio activity so that they don't stop and get stuck and be unmotivated. Physical activity helps motivate someone with this birthday, but they would be a political person, a generous person, and hopefully an active person, because if they are active, they can help other people and motivate others.
Right. And on that note, we're going to get you to hold on there because we're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Paisley Town is our guest. We're going to continue with live numerology readings here on Spaced Out Radio, having some fun with you, the audience, in our chat rooms tonight on YouTube, LGAB, Spreaker, Facebook, Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio, Revolution Radio, and many more. We'll be back.
This is fun.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from
everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
We pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Good to have each and every one of you with us tonight. We want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Here we go. We are continuing with our live readings tonight on the mighty SOR, as we had a little bit of a situation during the break. Not much, nothing psychic, nothing aliens, nothing government oriented, but my internet went down. My internet feeds went down. Thank goodness it happened during the commercial break, because we got Paisley Town here. We're going to be doing live readings. Her website, paisleytown.com. We're going to continue on here. Paisley, welcome back.
Thank you.
All right.
That was fun.
Oh, that was interesting. I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Internet's down, and trying to get a hold of cable guy Matt. And he's like, oh, your cable looks to be down there, Dave. And I'm like, no kidding, cable guy Matt. No kidding. I was going to send him on an emergency call over here, because
I was telling him in the chat room that you needed help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's see here. I mean, we'll see what's going on. See what's going on. All right. Let us continue here. As
do you have any unique names that are looking for readings?
Let's find one here.
Okay.
Let's go with Doug. March 27th, 1975.
March 27, 75. Okay. And also, like, if the listeners who were doing their readings, I know there's a bit of a delay, but if they had a question, that would be fine too. I could figure something out. So,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I think they're having fun with this, because I don't normally do this,
I know.
This is rare.
Well, Hedgehog was on Facebook saying, is Dave Scott gonna open it up to, readings? I said, I don't know.
Well, here we are.
You remember Hedgehog? Yep.
Oh, yes.
So Doug is a very sensitive soul. Someone with this birthday, March 27th, 75, with the name Doug. Now, Doug is interesting because it's Doug, but usually it's Douglas, so it has a little bit of extra energy on it. So 6, 8, 9, 10. This is quite often somebody that works with wood or metal. So mechanic, welder, cabinet maker, somebody who builds things and puts things together. Very creative, logical mind. Gets bored easily. So for example, if they like to rip engines out of cars and stuff like that, they might sit there in the garage for so many hours that they forget to eat, breakfast for dinner and dinner for breakfast and all that jazz. They forget to eat their meals. They like come out when the job's done kind of thing. Like they can be workaholics, but they usually like to work with their hands. And if they're so creative that if they were working on a car, for example, and they didn't have the right tool to fix what the problem is, this is the kind of person that would be able to build the tool to fix the car. Like that detailed. Just super creative.
All right. Let us continue on here, because I know Teresa wanted to get a little bit of a reading here. And where's her birthday here? I got to find it again. Where are you, gorgeous Teresa? There she is. February. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, somebody in the chat room said his real name is Chuck Norris.
Of course. Okay.
Teresa have an H in her name?
No H.
So
she's not a Theresa.
Okay.
She's a Teresa. All right. February 22nd, 1969.
Oh, this is a good birthday because it's got a lot of fire energy. So 7. And it's Teresa, correct? Is that right, Dave?
Correct.
Okay. This is someone who has quite a lot of fire energy. So when I look at the numbers, I'll just go through the numbers quickly. So we have fire, 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 water, fire. So this should be someone that knows that they have to do physical things. They will probably have more than one career. So for example, they might be a personal trainer and they own or work a partner in a pizza company. This is kind of energy. I would say like the kind of energy of like Mike Tyson. But they like to be social, but they know a lot of people, but the people that are the closest to them will be people that they've had in their life for a very long period of time. Like this is the kind of person where you say, oh, yeah, she's been my friend since I was like 5. And, they're in their, their 50s now or whatever. Yeah. So like fast, furious, speeding tickets, go, go, go. Usually like, I would say personal trainer kind of energy, would do very well. Like
she's a speed demon.
Oh,
I have met her twice.
This is fast.
You've met Teresa.
Met her? Have I?
Yeah, she was at, remember when you and I were both at the Forest Moon Paracon in Washington State a couple of years ago? She was there.
And did she have a table there?
No, she was just in the audience cheering me on. She had a big banner for me.
I would call her a firecracker. Like the energy of the fire is pretty loud. And she might be a loud person. She'd be somebody who wouldn't be afraid to like say what she thinks. Do you know that about her?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's move on. Corey.
Okay.
As in Corin's the booking guy, my booking guy. All right, he wants to see what you get out of his name here. Let me find his birthday here because,
what's his real name? Is his name Corin?
Corey. I call him Corins.
Okay, is it Corry?
No, Cory. One R.
Cory. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Now his mustache has a lot more R's in it though, but it's good. And he was born on Friday the 13th, December 1968.
December 13th, 1968. So, 6, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Does Corey have a temper? Because I don't know Corey. Do you know, Dave? Does he have a little temper?
No, not that I've seen, but I'm sure he's been known to drop an elbow or two.
Okay. That's a funny comment. So someone with this birthday, which is all air and fire, there's no water numbers here, would be someone who may struggle to communicate, but their heart is in the right place. Yeah, because there's no water. Water would be communication, fire would be action, and air would be gestures. So he's all gestures and action. So this might be someone who's, for example, really good at like cooking dinner for somebody or giving someone a foot rub or helping someone out when they need it, but not usually someone who's super chatty. This is someone who will avoid conflict at all costs, sometimes to the point where they're avoiding conflict so badly that they create conflict.
Right.
Does that come up?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know Corey personally. He just works for me. So.
And so he's not in your town. Is that what you're saying? He's not in your neck of the woods?
He's a Texan. So, I mean, he's a Texan.
Well, it depends too. Like, interestingly enough, for someone with this much fire energy, if they work out on a regular basis, they're going to have a completely different personality than if they don't work out at all. So if they don't work out, they might have anxiety issues, or they could present as like unmotivated. But if they work out, they're the person that gets stuff done, that keeps you on track, that, you know, somebody who you want them to have your back, because they'll be very loyal to you, and they'll, you know, mow down somebody who gets in your way or who gets in your face, kind of thing.
That I have noticed about Corns, the booking guy.
Wow.
Totally noticed about that.
Excellent. That's a good quality to have.
Yeah, he's good people. Fantastic mustache. I'm very jealous of that. But good people. Very good people.
Cameron's laughing at Corinth.
I know. All right, let's move on here. The Michael Leger. Michael was born October 14th, 1959.
Okay. So the name Michael is a 6, which is someone you would get along with. You usually would get along with someone named Michael, just so you know, Dave, because you're born on the 24th. It's all ringing a bell now, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is someone I would also get along with. 6 and 6 is 12. So Michael has no fire energy. So Michael would get along well with Jessica and Matthew and me.
Hey.
What does Michael want to know? Is there a question? This is someone who is structured, creative, artist, healer, teacher, leader, rule follower, somewhat political. The life lesson for this birthday would be coming into their voice softly, like in a responsible way, so that their needs can be met by other people. Because Michael would be a person that would know what the needs of other people are, even if the other people haven't asked for something. So I would say this would be someone who, I would call them a healer. They might be also artistic, but this is someone who, did you ever have somebody over to your house, Dave, maybe for dinner, or somebody who popped in for coffee, one of your neighbors, and they're not quite okay? And because you're born on the 24th, you can spot someone who's not okay, even if like they're groomed well and they look together and they're telling you that, yes, they're doing fine, but you can sense that they're not doing fine. Does that come up for you, Dave?
My boss today.
They'll present as they're okay, but something's wrong. It's not intellectual knowledge, but it's empathy, compassion. Like, you'll know in your heart something's off with them. And so these make the best healers. And so one thing for Michael to watch for is like self-care would be an important thing to focus on, because people with this birthday sometimes help other people to a fault. They help other people too much. So this would be somebody that goes and fishes for everybody, and at the end of the day, they forgot to eat because they were too busy fishing for everyone. So they would do well to do more self-care and teach others to fish so they can fish for themselves, if that makes sense.
All right. Let's go to Bigfoot Rob here. January 27th, 1967.
January 27th, 1967. And Robert, is that right?
Yeah, Robert goes by Rob. Okay. He's the owner of the Scoreboard Lounge, where they're having a plethora of drinks tonight on us.
Woo! That sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Robert. He's going to be a busy guy. He won't even be able to hear his reading. He'll be so busy. 7 and 7. It's 14. So, okay. So everything I just said about Michael, same with Rob. Like, and interesting that he owns an establishment that, so owning a lounge or a pub, you're providing a service that helps others. It helps other people heal. It helps them relax. You know, when you're having a few drinks, you can let go, you know, get your boss off your back or whatever like that. And you know how a lot of people say they go to a bar and the bartender is like a counselor to them? You've heard that before, Dave. That's the kind of energy that Robert has, but Robert does not take any, I don't know how to say that on the air without swearing. He doesn't take any crap. He does not take any crap from anybody. I would say, like, he'll be generous, he'll be kind, but don't cross
fear
him.
the Reaper. Yeah.
That's right. Because he'll give it to you. Like he'll boot you out. You'll be done. And I'm not just talking about in a bar situation. I'm talking about in a partnership situation, in a employment situation, in a friendship situation. It's like you wouldn't be able to keep taking and taking and taking from him as Robert. Robert would draw the line in the sand and say, okay, like I've helped you out enough times, buddy. Like you're done. Like that ship sailed.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So
he also likes to break into song every now and again, too, I hear.
Well, because he's born on the 27th, he's a 9, so he should be good at karaoke. He should be good at cooking. Like, this would be someone who would make a good bed and breakfast host. You know what I mean? Like what do you need? What can I get for you? 9s are the most open-hearted and the most sensitive of all the numbers, which leaves them to be the most vulnerable to be hurt by others. But if all of us had the energy of 9, there'd be no war, no politics, no fighting, no competition. Everybody would like share and sing Kumbaya.
Nice. All
right,
right,
like hippies.
Let's move on here because we got a bunch more. During the break, before we had the internet crash, we were trying to get Kristen in there. August 13th, 1971.
Okay. And how do you spell Kristen?
Kristen.
Okay. So Kristen is 5, and she's born on the 13th. Your lucky number, Dave. Your favorite number.
Love it.
So water, fire, and air. Kristen should be someone who could have trouble making decisions sometimes, likes to speed and likes to follow the rules, both. Artist, healer, energy, generous, gentle, sometimes impatient or could present as having a temper or anxiety if they don't do enough physical activity. So really we've covered like all the patterns like by the numbers, because in numerology there's basically numbers from 1 through 9. There's only 3 groups: water, fire, and air. So water personality would be this way. So if somebody's got water numbers, that's going to be similar to what I've said before. But there are certain birthdays. Do we have anybody? Can you scroll through the YouTube numbers. Is there anybody, for example, born March 30th or March 12th or March?
I got Brian from Toronto.
Yep.
He's March 20th, 1978.
March 20th, 1978. Okay. So Brian is an independent soul who may struggle to have partnerships with people because they like to be alone and they like to be partnered. So it's kind of like when they're home alone, they wish somebody was there. And when someone's there all the time, they wish they had their own space. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, well, he does have his own Greek restaurant in Toronto. So, I mean, why not? He's got his own space.
Yeah. He's got his own space and it's social. And then when he's done, he locks the doors and boots them out.
And then he comes and trolls me in the chat rooms. That's what he does.
Does he? That's
in
awesome.
A fun way. In a fun way, of course.
Well, see, he doesn't want to, turn off the Slovakia, ovens and then go to bed. He wants to be entertained by us in the evening.
Mm-hmm. The problem is he's not sharing the ouzo.
Well, somebody with this birthday might want to keep the ouzo to themselves.
Selfish.
No, not selfish. Generous, very, very generous.
Except when it comes to ouzo.
Yes.
I remember that.
He probably has a stash of those little ouzo candies,
I bet you he does.
Mm-hmm.
I like those.
Right? Now I'm wanting some of that lemon Greek soup with the rice and the chicken.
Oh, yeah. Making me hungry. We've got about 3.5 minutes here. Let's try and sneak in Jarhead. His name is Gregory. June 4th, 1961.
Okay. And how do you spell Gregory?
Gregory.
Okay, perfect. I had that. You know what's so funny, Dave? Sometimes people come for a reading and they have a unique name with a unique spelling, and I write it down correctly before they arrive, and I don't even know.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is kind of cool.
18. So Gregory has the ability to make a lot of money, spend a lot of money, and worry about money. But this is not someone who should ever worry about money because they're always involved in many things. So usually several businesses that don't have anything to do with each other, loves to help other people, could be like a philanthropist with the money if they're successful and if they're doing fast cardio activity. And a lot of people say, well, I walk my dog, but that, like, if you're walking like a little dog with a coffee, that's not cardio. But this should be someone who does fast cardio activity like football, hockey, hiking, running, swimming, those things. They could be very financially lucratively successful.
All right. Very cool. Well, being jarhead is a term for a Marine, so I'm going to assume I'm going to assume he was a Marine at one time, so that kind of makes sense.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard that term jarhead before. Maybe it was in
there's a movie,
the Avatar movie or something. Okay.
Well, there was a movie called Jarhead with what's his name? Tobey Maguire, I believe. No, not Tobey Maguire. What the hell is the guy's name? Jake Gyllenhaal. I always get those two confused. Yeah.
Sounds like I like movies.
All right. We got time to squeeze in, I think, one more here.
Okay, go.
Let's see if we can find one. Tina, July 10th, 1973.
Oh, this is somebody I would get along with.
We got about 1 minute.
Okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Independent soul. Very independent. So I would say loves to talk, loves to teach. People would follow her lead in an emergency, you want to be, if there was an earthquake, you'd want Tina, in your camp, because she would know what to do even without having any training, what to do about an emergency. And then after the emergency is over, then they might, Tina might be like, oh my gosh, thank God it's over. But yeah, very resourceful person, communicator, public speaker, teacher, leader, loves to learn and loves to teach. So I'd say even when they're 99, they might still be taking university courses.
She's a musician too.
Well, based on her first name, I'm not seeing the musician aspect, but like all the elements fall into place. Like if I was doing an hour-long reading, I would do her first name, I would do her last name, add it all together, blah, 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 right? We're just doing quick ones tonight. Yeah.
We're just having fun tonight with Paisley Town. Paisley Town, energy extraordinary. We have her for another 30 minutes. We're going to try and bring in as many of our listeners' birthdays to see what Paisley picks up through the numerology that we are doing tonight. So if you're in one of our chat rooms or on Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio, put your birthday in. We'll get to it right after the break here on the Mighty SOR.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines report on the Spaced Out Radio website, and let's figure out what's going on together.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month. And follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Kicking off the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate your time. Hi to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club, numerology. Numerology is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show and on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. For the final time tonight, we bring in Paisley Town. We've been doing live numerology all night long. Why? Well, because we just don't do any sort of readings on this show, and Paisley's a good friend. I really appreciate her time and trust what she is going to be telling the audience and our listeners, so that's why we are doing it. Her website, if you would like a future reading, is paisleytown.com. Paisley, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm getting some interesting comments in the chat room in Spreaker. So
yes.
We did a reading for Doug, and he said he's been a car mechanic for 33 years.
That is awesome.
I
That's
know.
kind of accurate. Kind of accurate.
Kind of accurate, isn't it?
There you go. All right.
Quest
let's
Nation
get back.
said we were on point too.
Perfect.
I'm ready.
And
Go ahead.
Let's continue on here. Let's go to Joyce, okay, who's also April 13th, 1961.
Did we do April 13th earlier? Sounds familiar. Maybe we did. Okay. So April 13th, 61. Okay. So this birthday is fire, fire, fire. And then when I add it up, it's water. And Joyce is fire. Oh my gosh. This would be somebody who hopefully will be go, go, go. Joyce should be someone that other people have a hard time catching up to. Not just like driving, a two-door sports car, but should be someone that thinks fast, learns fast, picks things up fast. If Joyce went to a class, let's say went to a class to learn how to make sushi or something, if it was an hour-long class, after 20 minutes, Joyce would want to leave because she's like, come on, like quit repeating yourself. Let's go. Like, just want to move on to the next thing. So this is a birthday that gets bored very easily. But again, another birthday with the 8 energy, 1961, which is very prone to make a lot of money and spend a lot of money. And the reason is these fire numbers in this combination where they're placed, this is someone who loves quality things. So even if they made twice as much this year as they made last year, they could still be in debt because they buy beautiful, like not IKEA furniture, for example. They would buy beautiful either antique pieces or handmade pieces that are very long lasting and high quality, but they have quality friendships, quality furniture, quality relationships with people. Tricky birthday to partner with because could be some disadvantages in communicating in relationships. Like they could get frustrated with their partner easily or, roll their eyes too many times because people can't keep up to them. That's why.
Awesome. Moving on here, let's go over to Finland for Juha, which is spelled Juha. Juha.
Juha.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
May 6th, 1986.
Okay, 1986. So, what happens with, so this birthday is about 33 years old. So, what happens in numerology, Dave? One thing that I didn't explain to our listeners that's probably valid. If I was reading for a teenager, I would focus more on the month that they're born because their energy of their personality is going to be their month energy. And if I was reading for a senior citizen, I might, somebody over, say, 60-ish. And when we turn 60, our personality doesn't suddenly change. It's kind of like a shift. But if I was focusing on a senior, I would focus on the 1986 or the year that they're born. But this person, because they're in their 30s right now, they have the energy of 6, and the energy that they're moving into now will last Juha like going forward the rest of their life. 18, 17, 8. So could be political, hopefully has come into their voice to speak up for themselves. People with strong fire energy in the day that they're born and in their name both together will sometimes speak strongly or too loudly. And when I say too loudly, I'm not talking about volume, but they'll just say things how they are. And people who have water numbers in the day that they're born and in their name will hesitate to speak up for themselves. So Juha has this combination of not being shy, but may hesitate to speak softly, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean by that, Dave?
Yes.
What do I mean? Were you listening?
I was listening. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to put it into words.
About speaking softly.
Yes, but you see, I've dealt with a lot of, like back in my journalism days when I was covering hockey, I dealt with a lot of Finnish hockey players.
Okay.
And they are quiet. It's a culture that is pretty quiet. They listen a lot. They're very smart on languages. Like most Finnish people can speak minimum of 3 languages.
Right.
Oh, okay. They're very quirky. They have weird senses of humor, and I mean that in a positive way.
Okay, so regarding the sense of humor with this birthday, it should be witty and sarcastic both, but not in a way that hurts other people, because this is a birthday that never wants to offend someone. It's like they'll hurt themselves before they'll hurt someone else. Just as an example, they'll step in front of the bullet if they accidentally fired the gun. You know what I mean? They wouldn't intentionally fire the gun. Generous,
Right.
gentle soul with a lot of energy. And so if this person plays hockey, that would be good for them because they have the 8 and the 4 energy. So they'll release the fire energy. So
Right.
they'll be calmer and won't have a temper. Most people
Sounds
who have
good.
lots of fire energy, like Joyce, they should know that they need to do cardio.
All right.
I can't
Let
tell
us
people
move
to
on.
do cardio. Okay.
I'm so bad at that too. Chris is asking September 11th, 1986.
Ooh. 1986. Chris with a C?
Yes, Christopher, and with a C.
With
yes.
a PH. Yeah.
And a PH. He's a pH balance, yes.
Loves to partner. Gentle soul. Okay, so Christopher may have a challenge with speaking up for themselves. Generous, gentle. When they go to say something, they may be so emotionally involved in what they need to say that communication doesn't come out clearly. And this is the person that says, well, yeah, I said that, but that's not what I meant. You should know what I meant, because they'll kind of get their communication stuck. And yeah, but should be generous, gentle. I would say work with his hands, loves to partner, loves to be around people, social person. This is somebody who would say woot and buy you around. You know what I mean, Dave?
I want to have a drink with that person. I do.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's move on here. Joseph goes by Joe, but Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
And his birthday is July 31st, 1962.
Okay. Is Joseph in the United States by any
Yes.
chance? Can we ask? Okay. So you know Joseph?
Kind of. He's a longtime listener.
Okay. 6 and 2. So July 31st birthday is very similar to July 4th birthday. Because when we're adding the numbers together, 3 plus 1 is 4. And so Joseph is a firecracker. Do you know that to be true?
I would say that's true.
Yep.
I would say that's true. Yes.
Yep. And born in 62. So moving into going from fire into air energy in the next stages of life. So generous, gentle, kind, helpful, avoiding conflict, partnership, teamwork. Don't betray Joseph, because it'll be over. Similar energy to somebody else that we read tonight. I can't remember who. Corey.
Yes. Corin's the booking guy.
Yep. Corin's the booking guy.
All right. let's move
I
on.
have a question for you, Mr. Spaced Out Radio. Yes. How is Mrs. Spaced Out Radio doing these days?
Good. Very good.
Seen her
Working
for a
from
long
home
time.
the last 5 months.
Wow.
4.5 months. Yes.
That must be tricky. Still the spa kind of employment?
No. Someplace
Different.
else.
Someplace else.
Someplace else.
A fun job?
She enjoys it.
Good.
Yeah. She totally
Excellent.
enjoys it. Let's move on.
I'm ready.
All right. Grant. August 18th, 1979.
August 18th, 1979. Does Grant have a question?
Just put the date down. That's it.
I got it. I got it.
Says she's got me curious.
So, water, fire, and air. Generous, gentle, sensitive soul. This could actually be someone who's into metaphysics. This would be someone who would make a good psychic reader. And hopefully that's not an offensive thing to say, but this would be someone who works independently, loves working on a team, and the goal is to be of service and help other people. So psychics are kind of like that. They work independently on a team to help others. But this is someone who should never work. So, for example, in a factory environment, this birthday wouldn't do well in a factory environment. They need to either have if they work indoors, they have to have a view of nature, or they have to be like an extreme mountain biker after work. If they work in a factory kind of thing, they need nature and fresh air, and they need to keep busy, and they wouldn't be able to, for example, go file papers for 5 hours or do taxes or something. They need to keep busy and always be stimulated by activity.
Sounds good. Let's move on. Sage Grace, December 20th, 1976.
This name sounds familiar. Tell me the birthday again.
December 20th, 1976.
Okay. Is this the daughter of a listener?
I have no idea. Okay. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm. So 7 and 7, 14, 5. This is someone who may, in the future, may be political. Balance would be very important to them. Finding balance, keeping balance with things. Not just like financial balance, but how can I say this? Equitability would be important to them. Advocacy, standing up for rights, doing the right thing. This is someone who, if they broke the chocolate bar in half, they would give you the bigger half. Like they would be focused on doing the right thing. Now, I love chocolate, so I'm not saying that giving someone else the bigger half is the right thing. But Sage would be generous in that way.
All right. Kevin is asking, September 19th, 1970.
I don't think I've done this many readings in this short a time.
You're doing great. You're doing fantastic.
Well, the part that, makes me sing is like when I can get confirmation that yes, I'm on the right track or no. So being in the chat room and YouTube is tricky for me tonight.
I know.
Okay,
but you're
so
nailing it. You're nailing it though.
How do you know though?
Because I get to read the comments after
okay, you have to tell me all the comments.
Well, the problem is the delay that we have. Yes. So by time you're reading somebody else.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep you on the phone after the show then, Dave.
Okay. Fine.
So, Kevin, independent soul, should watch for depression and overindulgence. Those would be signs that something's not right, because Kevin would be someone that pulls away from people to figure things out and will feel pressure when someone rushes him to make a decision. And the idea around that is that they can make a decision when everything is well and happy and fine. Like they can choose A, B, or C and just like make a decision, no problem. But for example, if COVID's happening, or if, you know, they just got laid off, or, you know, they're out of town and their flight gets canceled, or, you know, if there's something off, they feel a lot of pressure and take on a lot of pressure. This is also someone who could, when they're feeling pressure, if they don't release the pressure from the body through cardio activity or action, they could suffer from digestion issues, grinding of the teeth, worrying too much, like I'll say a headache, migraine, you know, they'll say, you know, like, don't ask me right now, don't pressure me, just like back off, get off my back kind of thing. Yeah, they pull away and sort of not hibernate from people, but they need a certain amount. Kevin would need a certain amount of downtime to themselves, but they may help other people too much to a fault.
All right, let's move on as we got about 4.5 minutes left. I want to try and squeeze in one or two more here, maybe three. Let's go to Christine.
Out of paper.
All right, Christine okay. With a CH. Mm-hmm. Christine, August 22nd, 1976.
Okay. So is this Christine someone that used to be in our chat room on Spreaker a long time ago, Dave? Do you know if that's who this is?
No idea.
Okay.
No idea. Probably not, because this is we got a bunch of new listeners from our YouTube crowd.
Okay. 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's 8, and Christine is 5, and 9, and 9. Fire and water. Black and white. Right and wrong. Sensitivity would not be a strong point. This is someone who could be a good decision maker, like work in justice. So this person could be someone like a judge, unless they got bored with having to sit in a chair all day. They'd be good at making decisions, reviewing information, processing information. Yeah, black and white. So this would be someone who would, you know, in a boxing match would be like a good judge, or in a courtroom kind of setting, a good judge of things.
Good lawyer.
This would be a good. Oh my gosh, this would be an amazing lawyer, because Christine would be like a pit bull if she was a lawyer. You'd want her to be your lawyer for sure. Yeah.
You never know. You never know. All right, Maria. Mm-hmm. August 2nd, 1965.
Okay, August 2nd, 1965. So happy birthday to Maria, because she just turned 55 last week. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3, 2, fire and air. Again, the communication could be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, the communication could be an issue that comes up for Maria. Creative, artistic, healing, helpful, quite sensitive, can sometimes take on energy of other people. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, if you called Maria, she might be pissed off that you called, and upset and hurt that you called. And if you didn't call Maria, she might be pissed off and hurt and upset that you didn't call.
One of them.
Yes, it could happen. And these are just like general, quick, fast. You know, like if I had more time to spend, I could give more specific detail about each person.
All right, one more. I think we got time for one more, and we'll
after this, I might be done.
All right. Well, we got a minute here, and we'll get John in here. Jonathan, Jon, and then Nathan, Nathan. Mm-hmm. December 3rd, 1975.
Sweet person. December 3rd, 1975. Could suffer from depression or addictive behavior. Should be generous. They like creativity. This would be somebody who might like to watch cartoons and eat Cheetos, that kind of thing. Not pay attention too much to the diet. It would be a good person to work with. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Independent, loves to work as a team, and generous and kind. Yeah, this birthday, December 3rd. This is a birthday that would be like same energy as December 21st or December 12th or December 30th. Or March, any of those dates as well. Yeah, it'd be somebody I would want to hire me because they'd, if I needed time off, they wouldn't say, oh, sorry, you can't take the time off. They'd be like, we'll figure out a way to make it work so you can take the time off. That kind of personality.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Got to cut it there. Paisley Town. You can be found at paisleytown.com if anybody wants to get a reading from you, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. We love you.
You're welcome.
We'll
Thank
do
you.
this again soon.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on.
I look forward.
Coming up next, we have the SOR Newswire. We're going to connect up with Vancouver and the shift with Shane and the thought of the day on Spaced Out Radio. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. For more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from vans to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really do appreciate you taking the time. I want to remind you that if you missed most of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. All right, let's go to Vancouver right now, because we are joining in. I am. We're just telling our audience we were just joining in with you. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing today? You had a day.
Oh, tell me about it. I got new glasses today. And, you know, about halfway through the afternoon, man, I started getting one of those migraines because my eyes weren't used to the new prescription. And next thing I know, I'm seeing DJ Jazzy Jeff and the French Prince of Bel-Air absolutely everywhere. Gave me a migraine back to like 1992, and I've had enough, man. I've had enough.
Oh, that's so good. Thanks for tying that all together. There's just talk of that show coming back as a reboot.
I know.
But not as a comedy, but a drama. Anyway, Dave Scott, it's not what we're here for today. We wanted to talk. Last week, we kind of got into the paranormal conversation, and we actually incidentally just got into witches conversation here just a little while ago, unrelated, because there was a story out of Australia about a witch trying to do some spelling down in Australia to get rid of the COVID and make the politicians do the right things. But here in Canada, there are so many amazing stories. There's so many amazing ghost stories of places. And I've been really drawn to these places. I love these places. I have plenty of ghost stories myself. And I thought that maybe we could get into that. Would that be all right with you?
Oh, well, we can go wherever you want. I mean, I'm always up for a little woo, you know, talk about some hauntings, some ghosts, some creepy stuff. Let's do this.
All right, let's dig into how's your familiarity with haunted places in Canada? What would you start with being, one of the most haunted places. If we had to choose one to talk about, because I got a couple, where would you want to start?
I would suggest starting in British Columbia. And the reason why is maybe I'm a little biased over this, but the Gold Rush Trail that leads from the Canada-U.S. border straight up to the Yukon is one of the most haunted places that we have. Look, we have a lot of Canadian history of battles and conflicts and battlefields out east. But when it comes to the west, I would highly suggest that any paranormal investigator takes on the Gold Rush Trail. You have murder, you have deception, you have people dying on this trail trying to find gold and strike it rich. You have people freezing to death. You have absolutely everything, as the West was so unorganized when it came to colonization that all of a sudden there's all this gold and everybody goes into a frenzy. And it is one rough, tough part of the paranormal world that nobody really, really checks out. We have a lot of paranormal investigators who will go to the haunted houses, buildings, courtrooms, bars, whatever. But you think about it, there were millions of people at that time, which was a big number, who were traveling between California and right up to the Klondike, who were trying to find their gold prospect to hit it rich. And that was a violent time. There was no Royal Canadian Mounted Police. There was no police. People were their own cops and vigilantes. All right. People were robbing each other, murdering each other, stealing from each other. Violent time. And the ghost literally, I am about 3/4 of a mile east of me is the original Gold Rush Trail. And I just think, what kind of spirits are walking along there and the stories they could tell.
Now it's an incredibly long trail, though, isn't it? Doesn't that go basically from Vancouver to Quesnel or Prince George, all the way up there? It goes quite far.
It goes right to Alaska. I mean, this trail is...
Oh, does it?
Yeah, I mean, literally, everybody across Canada has probably heard of Barkerville. That was one of the main hubs in traveling north to the Klondike, and Barkerville is an extremely haunted museum town now. I mean, you could call it a ghost town because literally that's what it is. So, I mean, you go to Barkerville, they had a large Chinese community, which is very, very spiritual back then, and there's a lot of ghosts in the Chinese community of Barkerville. You have a lot of the miners that are still, potentially holding up people, trying to steal their gold. It's incredible. It's incredible when you do that trail. Next, I would say it would be out east near Niagara Falls, where there was a large battlefield in the, between. Yes, large battlefields around that area. And, our battlefields here in Canada don't get the press of Gettysburg in the United States during the Civil War. We had a couple of wars back there, okay? You had Canada versus the United States in 1812, where the Canadians won, of course. The Americans will beg to differ, but we won. And, and I say that for my American audience that's tuned in on my side. And then you also have the battle between the English and the French. So there's a couple of large battlefields around the Niagara Falls area where literally thousands of soldiers died. And very few paranormal investigators have actually gone there to see how haunted it really is. So for Canadians who are like, I want to go do paranormal investigations down at Gettysburg, we have our own. We just never talk about it. We never do it because we're not as proud about our history as a lot of other countries, namely our neighbors to the south in the U.S. And if we were to go on a ghost tour, that's where I would want to go.
That's where you go. So down there, there's that's where the stories of some very familiar names. Sir Isaac Brock, it was there. That was his battle. Laura Secord, who overheard the Americans in one of those battles and then came back. Right? There's a
good pudding, there's good solid pudding there.
Good solid pudding. There's a big statue for her and for Sir Isaac Brock down there with Fort George, and then but there's everything else that went on down there because there's the Merritt House, which I worked in there, which is a radio station now in St. Catharines, and that Merritt House is tied to think it's William Hamilton Merritt. And so he was like War of 1812. And then not only that, there's also the Merritt Tunnel, which was Prohibition, slaves. In that house, you open a door and there's like these archways that are all bricked in. And I'll tell you a story about that house. So I had a Great Dane, and his name was Cedric. We were just talking about pet names on the show. And at the top of the stairs, big spiral staircase in that house. It's a mansion. And he were standing there, and all of a sudden, he just basically runs out of the back of the house. He runs down the stairs. He literally pees nonstop all the way out the back door, just out of the blue. Pipe smoke, you could smell it out of the blue. Cold, people feeling they get pushed out down the stairs. Like, it's amazing the different levels of stuff that happened there. And there was a time when I came in, I remember I walked in and I was on the main floor and I had to pre-record a radio show, and I could hear the vacuum running. And I swear we went through cleaning people every couple of weeks in that house because they were there at nighttime. And I went in and I was recording my show, and I heard the vacuum stop. And I just slid open the door a little bit and I said, "Hey, just so you know, I'm in here recording." And the cleaning person said, "Oh, good. I thought I heard someone upstairs." There's nobody else there. There's nobody upstairs. I wasn't upstairs. I was downstairs. Cleaning person was downstairs. So like those kinds of things happen every single day in that place. And that's right in the heart of Niagara. Boy, that place is absolutely ripe for stories.
Oh, yeah. Then if you want to go more modern, you have a lot of suicides from people with broken hearts, because Niagara Falls is supposed to be, one of the most romantic places in the world. All right. So you have people who've had their hearts broken, maybe, engagements that you were hoping to say yes and the other person said no. All right. There's a lot of depression in that area too. So, I mean, it all ties together with a real grave history, pun intended, about the hauntings that are literally around that area. So Canada is full of hauntings, okay? And the one thing that I notice, and this is probably a big mistake by a lot of the paranormal teams out there, as well as I do, every Canadian knows that 90% of our population lives within 100 kilometers or 62 miles of the Canada-U.S. border. All right? And when you start going a little bit north, there is so much uncharted territory for paranormal investigators, to check out, to find those old stories, to find those gems of hauntings that really should exist, but nobody's ever investigated. It is like prime virgin territory for the paranormal. And very few are actually taking advantage of that, which is kind of sad because, we may be able to find out a lot more of our history, if you believe in it, okay, may be able to find out a lot more about Canadian history through the ghosts who have been silent for so long, and they're just waiting to talk to someone. And yes, ghosts do talk. You can capture them on digital voice recorders. You can capture them on videos. You can capture them on what they call ghost boxes. There's a lot of things that you can capture evidence on. And when you start putting the puzzle pieces together, just maybe we might be able to learn a little bit more about the heritage.
Yeah, so good. Oh my God, there's so many places I want to ask about. Do you want to get into, first I want to just bring up a couple. Can I just bring up a couple?
Yeah, go right ahead.
For the sake of being thorough and naming them. In Napanee, Ontario, there's the Alan McPherson House, which is like uber creepy. In Prescott, there's the Fort Wellington National Historic Site, that's like full on garrison thing. Like that's, oh my God, that's like War of 1812, Upper Canada.
Oh, yes.
Holy moly. That's freaky. And then we can get into the hotels. And inside the hotels, of course, we get into some of the obvious ones. We get into the Banff Springs Hotel, Fort Garry Hotel in Manitoba. Yes. There's that one. Of course, then we get into Victoria. There's Craig Darragh House. And then there's Hatley Castle. Oh, my God, where do you want to start?
Well, we could go anywhere. I mean, there's some brilliant places out there. I'm more of a fan of the more obscure spots, okay? Like you take Quesnel, British Columbia. They have a museum there. It has a doll named Mandy the Haunted Doll. Now, Mandy is in a curio cabinet. And Mandy, I will tell you this, she nearly killed a friend of mine. She put another friend under a trance where they couldn't snap him out of it for about 10 minutes. She is known as one of the 10 most haunted dolls in the world. If you look at her ceramic face is cracked. You're supposed to ask permission to take her picture, and it is, she's creepy. I'm not going to lie, she is creepy. Now there hasn't been anything weird where they haven't recorded her yet coming out of her curio cabinet, much like Robert the Doll or Annabelle, the famous 2 dolls down in the States, even though there's a bunch more. But there are people who claim that she is dangerous. A good buddy of mine, Merle, he was up there doing a paranormal investigation, and he decided that, as he was working around Mandy, setting up the cameras for their investigation that night, he made eye contact with her. The next thing he knows, he thinks he's going out to his vehicle to grab a snack. But instead of going to his vehicle, he walks straight towards the highway. And if he wasn't stopped by another member of his crew who saw him acting weird, he was heading right for the highway, probably to be hit by a vehicle. He came within about 15, 20 feet of the highway. And then when the other person on his team, Jeff, grabbed a hold of him, snapped him out of it, Merle went right into almost sickness, like convulsions, like he was going to vomit and not feeling well, and he needed water and everything. He had no idea how he got that close to the highway, all because of Mandy.
It's amazing. Dolls always ruin everything. Man, that's like the Pet Cemetery stuff.
Oh, yes. Scares the daylights out of me.
So good. But it's all bad stories. I mean, some of the ghosts are like, there's some of these places have been part of the slave trade where, in a good way, helping slaves escape out of the States. And some of the slaves, as they got into Canada, died there, but still live there because they're grateful to be Canadians. You hear some of those stories. So scary as they might be, they're not all bad.
Yeah, absolutely. We get a lot of stories like that out of Halifax, okay, where the Underground Railroad really took a lot of people into their freedom during the slave trade in the United States back in the 1800s. And those areas, they said that there's a lot of peace, there's a lot of harmony, a lot of love when the ghosts come to talk, because paranormal investigators who go down there, these people are getting freedom for the first time maybe in their lives. So all of a sudden they're walking out and they're like, what is this? And the communication that I've heard from there has been absolutely fantastic.
Love it. Yeah. So let me ask you a question, because you guys do so much about space and aliens and everything in that realm. Did you ever think that some of the stories that people share because they've experienced, do you think there's crossover between the aliens and the ghosts?
Definitely. One of the things,
maybe a misunderstanding?
No, I think you're absolutely right. One of the things we discuss a lot on our show is that there seems to be this invisible thread that is sewn in between all of the phenomena. So from ghosts to UFOs and aliens to cryptid creatures like Bigfoot and Dogman to consciousness. Now, a lot of the major researchers out there, I think of people like John Tenney, I think of people like David Weatherly, Grant Cameron out of Winnipeg. They are pushing their investigation to this whole different level, because up until a number of years ago, there were very few who actually believed that there was a tie between, say, aliens and Bigfoot or aliens and ghosts. But the more they have investigated and the more they have interviewed people who have had multiple experiences, those who say have had interactions with ghosts all of a sudden start noticing that shortly after, they look up in the sky and there's UFOs, and they've never seen UFOs before. Or they go out in the forest and they find Bigfoot tracks, or they see something anomalous in the forest. And they can't understand why all of a sudden all of this is happening to them. There are a number of people in Canada alone that this is happening to, right across the nation. You know, I know a young lady in Prince George, BC, named Samantha, where she literally has seen everything. And she doesn't know why, she doesn't know how, but this is something that she has had happen almost her entire life. And those are the people where we need to study them a little bit more, because there's answers there. What those answers are, we have no clue, because the science in regards to this and the research is still quite new. And the unfortunate part about it is many investigators out there are strictly, I'm investigating ghosts. That's all I want to do. I may not believe in Bigfoot. I may not believe in UFOs, or those subjects don't interest me. And so we have all of these brilliant investigators that have segregated themselves into one portion of the field, but there are very few out there that are actually taking the time to try and figure out if there is any type of correlation between them all. And I think that is going to be the new case for a lot of investigators as they move forward, because they're going to see that there are ties between everything. And it's interesting because there shouldn't be. They're so different, yet experiencers are having the same things happen over and over.
I agree with something we got to look at. Dave Scott, spacedoutradio.com. You can check it out, and his show, too. Thank you for being here, sir. I hope your glasses
always a pleasure,
better.
my friend.
And so does your noggin. All right.
Thanks
so much, Dave. Great to hear your voice. You have yourself a fantastic night. To Dave's audience, thanks for being here. All right, coming up here on...
All right, let's get to it, shall we? As we are going to get to the SOR Newswire right now. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes downright safe. Apparently, drawing eyeballs on the backsides of cattle is now an effective way to scare off predators. This is from a new study found over the last 4 years in Botswana, where researchers painted eyeballs on the back ends of 14 different herds where animals had been under attack from powerful predators like lions, leopards, cheetahs, and hyenas. The team from the University of New South Wales divided the animals into 3 groups, testing out 2 different eye spots, one that resembles eyes and another simpler style that just was like a cross, while leaving a third without any. It turns out surprisingly effective. That those simple crosses didn't fare too badly in the experiment. However, those ones with artificial eye spots applied to livestock definitely deterred the attacks by ambush predators. The results suggest that the artificial eye spots painted onto the livestock were successful in deterring lions from attacking cattle. Our results are also suggesting that the simple crosses were moderately effective. The team had been inspired by the eye spots often found on other species, including certain types of butterflies and birds. This doesn't surprise me. Farmers in India and in Southeast Asia have been doing this for years, putting masks on so they don't get attacked by tigers. So that doesn't surprise me at all. Let's get a couple of Thought of the Daves in here. Today's Thought of the Dave is as follows. What's your opinion on numerology? Do numbers tell a story? Wayne says, yes, it's Fibonacci sequence. Is there something to it? Seems like in a relationship to numerology. Jim, after following numbers for many years, I've come to the conclusion that it's not about the meaning and more to do with getting to know the feeling that made you look the way you do. That pinprick becomes a sentence after a while. Debbie, I watch for it. It gets my attention and does have meaning. Davey, I think there are repeating natural patterns and sequences in all things, but numerology just doesn't add up for me. We'll leave it there. Thank you, Marty, for the wonderful clown. Thank you to Shane from The Shift and to Paisley Town for hanging on out, talking numerology and doing readings. Captain Shirk for the Newswire as well. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, wherever you may be. Thank you to everybody participating in our chat rooms on YouTube, Spreaker, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club on our website, and to all the snarkers and snarkettes hanging out at hashtag Spaced Out Radio on Twitter tonight. All of you were marvelous, simply marvelous tonight.
I know you're out there somewhere.
Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with us, because together, my friends, say it with me, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night. But guess what? Tomorrow, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we got room for them too. Have a great night. Good night.